láyé olúgbọ́n mo ké borùn méje ẹ ò máa kọ yí lórin láyé àrẹ̀sà mo ké borùn mẹ́fà ẹ ò máa kọ yí lórin láyé ìsẹ̀yìn èmi ra kókò mo ra rán mo ra sányán bàbá sọ àfọ̀lẹ́ ló lè pélé.
Hello everyone, my name is Adeyemo Adegbemiga Ganio. I welcome you to my new Yoruba Abrahamically YouTube video. In today's topic, we talk about what we actually mean by worship and to honor, because this name for so long drew so many people out of the line. So the Abrahamic believers among the Christians and Muslims has continuously uses that as a punchline to demonize tradition and to demonize everything that has to do with indigenous belief, and that's certainly supposed to be so. So, and I don't actually blame them, because one way or the other, the invaders who came to Africa to turn our life around negatively, they've conditioned us to hate ourselves, to hate anything that is attributed to our ancestors or to something, and we should keep growing. And they've made us to start keep glorifying them and everything that has to do with foreign. So it's a kind of mind control. So today I will give you an instances, and I will just implore you to go and do your whole research. You don't take my word for it. It is what it is. So let's dive into it. What does the word worship mean, and what does the word or to honor means in Yoruba? First of all, to worship is a word that can only be attributed to the Almighty. You can't worship anybody than the Almighty, who created all things in the entire world. The Yoruba word for worship means sing. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sìn Ọlọ́run, ká lọ sí ilé ìjọsìn. Ẹ jẹ́ lọ sìn Ọlọ́run. It means sing. So when we talk about to honor, the word for honor basically in Yoruba means ẹ jẹ́ ká bọ́. Let's honor him. Like the way we Yoruba say, ẹ jẹ́ lọ bọ́ àwọn òbí wa. Let's go and honor our parents. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bọ́. Let's go and give an homage to the elderly ones, our ancestors. So that is where the very idea of Bibo come from. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bọ́. This is why when the Yoruba said Òrìṣà àkúnlẹ̀bọ, it means the prophet, ẹni tí òrìṣà lẹ́ṣà, the special beings which God has appointed, which you are meant to honor. It does not mean which you are meant to worship. So one way or the other, I don't know what has got into us, we Africans. The Abrahamic believers oftenly try to generalize it. Every time they've been conditioned to hate the idea of bo, especially when we attribute it to our ancestors, which were God's angels, Shango, Oya. When it traditionally said, let's go and bo Shango, the first thing that rings in the head is such person is a pagan believer, which is not so. You just didn't take note of those words, because those words doesn't mean Bibo. So that is for that. Let's now look at what God actually mean by Bibo and how God described pagan worshipping and what it actually means when He wants us to do away from pagan attributes of worship. So in both Quran, let's go in Deuteronomy Bible 6 verse 4. God said, "Oh, Oya Sheriola, yeah, Oya Sheriola." That is Israel. Oh, Oya Sheriola, your Lord, your Lord, the Almighty, is one. That is the first thing the God said in the Bible when He was addressing the Oya Sheriola, the Yoruba. Let's now go back to the traditional worshipper. Did the traditional worshiper in Yoruba land and across Africa, did they worship one God? Yes, of course. Did they worship anything? Did they believe in anything else aside the actually one God? No. So what does this mean? Let's use the Yoruba, which are more familiar for an instance, which the God was addressing in the Torah. The God is practically saying that all Yoruba should believe in one God. But the foreigners have gotten a way to make us believe that we are not worshiping one God. The question is, you ask yourself that, have you ever in your life, as a Yoruba person, hear any traditionalist that say, let's go and worship Shango? They will never say it. Let me say it in Yoruba so you will understand. Have you ever in your life heard any Yoruba traditionalist saying, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sin Ṣàngó? Wọn kì í sin Ṣàngó, wọn kì í sin Ọya, wọn kì í sin Yemọja, wọ́n máa ń bọ wọ́n ni. They don't worship Shango, they don't worship Yemeja, they don't worship Oya, they honor them. And that is the idea of Bibo. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bọ Ògún, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bọ, just like the way you honor your parents. Give an absolute respect to your parents. Honor, pay homages to them when they are dead and through different kind of means. That is all, everything that the Yoruba does. So those who collectively see the idea of Bibo Shogo, Bibo Oya as pagan tradition, they don't know what they are doing. They are just being obsessed and they are not being truthful, because based on what the God actually teaches in the Bible and the Quran is that do not worship any other almighty except me. This is why the Yoruba believe only in the Almighty One, Eledumare, why they honor the rest. Wọ́n máa ń sin Elédùmarè ni, wọ́n máa ń bọ àwọn òrìṣà ni. It's a very simple logic. So that is the truth behind it. And according to that verse which I just read, Deuteronomy 6 verse 4, the Yorubas are staying in line with the Almighty, unless you are just being obsessed with truth, being an Abrahamically religionist. So let's now go to another verses of the Quran, at least to balance it up. Another Bible. God also said, another verse of the Bible, God also said in Exodus 20 verse 5, you shall not mix for yourself an image or anything alike in heaven or on earth and in the water. You shall not bow down for such in worship. In worship. Take note of that. You shall not bow down for them in worship, not in honoring, because we do bow down to our parents. As a Yoruba person, as Omoluabi, we honor our parents. Aman bo biwa, and we bow down to them. So whether you bow down to a tree, or you bow down to your parent, or you bow down to an elderly person, in the line of honoring, you have no business with God. God is only addressing that you must not attribute that in the line of worshiping. It's a very common sense. So everyone who said those who kneel down to praise Shango, those who kneel down or bow down to honor Yemeja, in line of honoring Bibo, they have no clue of what God is. As a matter of fact, they don't know what they are doing. It's better for some people to just not talk rather than to keep insulting yourselves. I'm not a traditionalist. I'm just saying the truth the way it is. So that is for that. God is not actually referring to you. He's not addressing those who honor Yemeja, honor all these things, because Yemeja, they are Yoruba's ancestor. It's just like having a parent who died, but who was the friend of God, like a saint, and you are honoring him in order to receive the mercy of the Almighty. What is wrong with that? But because we are so obsessed, we are people of rival in religion. Everyone always wants to hold whatever he or she believes to the heart and demonizes the other one. This is why this is why many don't have a neutral mind to look into what others believe. So I'm just saying the truth, the exact way it is. I'm not demonizing any religion, but that is the truth, is just the truth. So let's now go into the Quran as well to look at what God actually further said in regards to the worshiping. God said in Quran 12 verse 40, Yusuf, if not him, you worship just what you and your forefather invented in names which Allah never permitted, never gave you authority to, commanded you not. He has only commanded that you but worship only him. But many just don't know. If you check out the old verses, either in the Quran or the Bible, the term of worship are always included in those verses, because God is always making it known that I'm referring to worshiping. You can kneel down to whoever you like. Just don't see him as your God. And to worship God has to do with something of the heart. God doesn't need anything. You don't even know what it looks like. God is in your heart, is in your brain, is in your eyes, is in your heart. Whether you go to the north, east, north, west, or south, is all over there. So you don't limit God to a house of God, places of God. God is at everywhere. So when God is trying to say worship, He's actually saying, don't put your belief that this is the person that will do this. But there you need a stepping stone to get to me. I will explain why everyone needs that later. So that is that for that in regards to worship and honor. So God is very specific in both the Quran and in the Bible that do not worship. He never say do not honor. If you like, honor a river. God doesn't have business with that. Do not worship him. And worship means sin. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sin igi, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sin ọ̀pẹ, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sin ẹyẹ, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sin àjẹ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sin oṣó, ẹ jẹ́ ká. It is different from ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bọ Ògún, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bọ Yemẹja, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bọ. Let's go and honor. That is what Bible means. So people have to be very clear because you can only fool yourself. You can't fool the Eledumare, the Almighty, which is why it is often said in Yoruba land, only the Almighty knows the true guided ones. We can claim to be Muslim, can claim to be Christian, can claim to be only God knows those who are on the right path. Because everyone seems to be right these days without going in details with clear instructions. So that is for that. So what do I mean when I said every Yoruba people need to understand the concept of heaven? Why you have to be involved in tradition, whether you like it or not. I will give you a very clear analysis of how it happens. For so long, so many religionists among the Yorubas, I'm talking to the Yorubas, but if you are outside the Yoruba clan, you can also learn. But I'm addressing it based on how I understand it with my home people. So don't be annoyed. Among the Yoruba believers, there are so many times that people will pray for so long. They will fast. They will beg the Almighty. They will do all kind of things in order for God to have mercy on them. God will never have mercy. God will never look their way. And this has been very rampant. Go to churches. You will see some who have been living in churches, mountain of fire, praying for 40 days. And what their request is yet to be answered. You will now wonder why. So out of 10 people who are into the prayer, just one might have his prayer answered by chance. And it will now look like, but we human beings, whenever we don't have our prayers answered, we still always find an excuse to justify our failures in life. Like if you fail to meet up a target, which is obviously of your own fault, we have a way of consoling ourselves with the failure. Maybe that is destiny. Maybe that we need to just give up. Maybe that is your capability. Whereas there are criteria which we don't follow. This is why we keep falling. The Yoruba we said, ewe tí ó iṣẹ́ ogun tí ó jẹ́ ewe lókù kan. The leaves that you put together or the kind of spiritualities that you do that doesn't work out for you, definitely something is wrong. Destiny apart, reality apart. And I will tell you why this is happening. For almost all the Yorubas, this is the high time you have to realize that tradition is not a pagan right, and it's not a pagan practices. For you to do tradition, why it is needed and why it is a must for all Yorubas to go back to tradition is because God is like the president. I'm telling you the truth. God Almighty is like the president. If you look at the hierarchy of how the Yorubas structured their political system in the ancient time, even till today, from the Obas, we have the right-hand man, we have the left-hand man, Oloye Otun, Oloye Osi, we have the chiefs, Iyalode, we have so this is the exact way God designed heaven. The Yoruba took all their concept, their tradition, their belief from what the Almighty gave them as inspiration. And that is exactly what is happening today. God is like the president of the world. The angels, which the Yoruba refer to as Orun Imole, Erunmole, they are the governors. And the spirit that follows individual beings around, male, female, because every human being has a spirit, which are your ọmọ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ omi, èmèrè afẹ́fẹ́, èmèrè nuge. They are spirits that you are born with. They can't separate you. You are born with it, and they are the ones who they are your soulmate from where you came from before we all came down to earth. We just don't remember anymore. But if you are spiritual, you are likely to know the realm that you came from. It is by design. So these are the same spirit, ọmọ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́, that walks around with you. Some walks around with 30 spirits. Some walk around with 10 spirits. These are 10 spirits which Abrahamic people often refer to as guardian angel. Because ọmọ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́, your guardian angel, if you take care of them, they will set the right path for you. They will guide you right. They will reveal themselves to you in your dream. They will talk to you. They will make your life not be miserable. These are your guardian spirit, ọmọ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́, your soulmate spirit from the realm you came from. So like I said earlier, the Almighty God is the president. The irúnmọlẹ̀, the 200 irúnmọlẹ̀, Ṣàngó, Yemọja, Ògún, Ọbàtálá, Agunju, and so on and so forth. They are the governors of the Almighty. These spirits, ọmọ ẹlẹ́gbẹ́, in groups, they are your own personal guardian angels that walks around. They don't die. They don't sleep. They move around with you. They guide you, depending on how righteous you are. And they set you based on your destiny. So they are your own ministers. They minister your life. They tell you, do this, do that, unless you don't listen. So, and God now created the likes of the witches. Mind you, not all witch are bad. You have to really understand that. There are categories of witches, and God specifically designed them for different functions. There are good witches, there are bad witches. And witches in general, God created them for them to deal with those who are hell-bent towards unrighteous ways. Those who are very arrogant to the Almighty, those who are committed to bad things. One way or the other, circumstances will always lead them to bad witches, and the witches will keep pressurizing them. We keep torturing them. They will now keep asking questions. God, why are you doing this? You should check yourself. So these witches are the policemen which God placed on earth. They are the policemen. And don't forget, whether you're a good witches or you're a bad witches, you will also face your own calamity or righteous reward after death. So everything, God doesn't just create anyone without that person being guided. Everyone has limitations. Only God doesn't have limitations. So God is the president. The angels, Irúnmọlẹ̀, they are the governors. Your personal guardian angels, Egbe, where you came from, they are your guardian angel, your ministers. They are ministering your life. Why the witches are the policemen. So as an ordinary citizen, you as an ordinary citizens of this world, let's put it into a very clear example. Can a random citizen of a country just pick a call and call a president in the Aso Rock or in the White House and talk to him? It's impossible. You will either have to go through the local government chairman or the governor or a minister, someone who can easily walk into the office of the president directly and ask the president to give you what you are demanding. This is why everyone always needs a stepping stone to get to the Almighty. Do you get it? You can't just sleep in your house and start talking to the Almighty. Not that God is not listening. Even where God said, I'm closer than you, than your flesh and bone, He's practically saying, all my workers, all my messengers are all around you. And I'm hearing everything. But you need a stepping stone. This is why, if you like, jump from River Niger, jump inside an ocean. If God will answer you, He will answer you. If God won't answer you, He won't answer you. But there are 99.9% chances of God not answering you. Why will God do that? Because God has already put the criteria on the ground. Follow the normal path. Why did Jesus say, no one gets to the Father except through me? He knows what He's saying. Yeshua is Jesus and is Eshu. There is no tradition you want to do. Whether you want to honor Shango or honor, you have to put Eshu first. This is why you should said it in the Torah that no one gets to the Father. You have is Eshu Olailu in Yoruba land that will carry your message from this earth, his spirit, take it to heaven. This is the same issue that we call the messenger. All Irumole, the angels, always look for issue to help them take their message. All human beings always seek issue to help them take their message. Issues. So when issue said no one gets to the Father, etc., he knows issue is the main soul who can be on earth and replicate his spirit, go to heaven within a short few times. So every human being, especially the Yorubas, you need a stepping stone to get to the Almighty. This is why I say tradition is a must for all Yoruba descendants if you must get a quick answer to your problems. So it's just a simple logic. If you like fast for 100 years, if you like fast, you have to be on the neck of one Irumole before you get to the heaven. That is when the Almighty will directly hear you and give you an instant answer. If you have any problem that you've been praying for, just go and do the tradition. They will always refer you to one. So they will always attribute your spirit to one Irumole, angels or the other, that you must clean, you must channel your prayer to, because it is through them your prayer will easily get to the office of the president, which is the Almighty. So that is for that. Why is it that for the Yorubas? The reason is because in Genesis 6 verse 4 of the Bible, God said, in the ancient days, the son of Eli, which is Eledumare or Eli in Torah, like Elohim, Hallelujah, Elijah. So is this the same El? Either is El in the Torah, is the same thing as Ella, is the same thing as Eledumare, is the same thing as Al, depend of different Yoruba with different intonation at different region in ancient days. So the Bible is actually telling us that when the son of Eledumare, came down to earth, they saw this daughter of the men, married the children, married them, and had children with them. These children became Nephilims, like giants or reputable human beings, and these children now became heroes of time, heroes which you are meant to honor. To honor. Blatibo, honor means to bow. They became heroes which you are meant to honor, bibo. These were Yorubas, are the children of those angels. The angels are likes of Yemeja Shango, of the Almighty, who came down to earth to marry the first set of human beings that lived at Ile-Ife. They gave back to the Yoruba race, and those race which they now became a figure function for all Yoruba people, which we are now honoring today, just like your Bible said it. So when the Yorubas are honoring, they are only practicalizing what the Bible have foretold earlier. Which, let me give you for instance, Ogun came down at Oyo, and Ogun came down in Ondo, which is popularly Ire-Ekiti or Ekiti of today. He married the children of Ekiti. He married the first Yoruba set of people at Ekiti, had children with them. Those children became grandchildren and replicated till today, and they are now honoring Ogun at Ondo. That is for Ondo. So Ogun are honoring the angel of iron, which is at Ondo, of the Almighty, which you call the Ledumare. The same thing as Oyo. Oyo too, another angel descended there. This angel that descended there is Shango. Shango is another angel that came down, descended, married normal human beings of Oyo, had children to them. The descendants of Shango are also still at Oyo today. Yemeja too went to another Yoruba state, which was at Ogun, had children too, the Ogun. So Yorubas, every land in Yoruba land were founded by all these God angels who came down. So each Yoruba that belongs to those states today, they are randomly descendants of each 200 angels of the Almighty who came down from heaven down to earth. So the Yorubas are bound to honor their parents because they are closer to the Almighty God. The way a Yoruba man will cry to the angel of God believe me, is more like a way of a child is crying to his parents. The parents will answer him with mercy. Yoruba we said, Abiamo kin gbọ́kú ọmọ rẹ̀ kó má tasin were. When a parent heard this cry of his child, they will be unsettled. They will answer you quick. If you are non-Yoruba and you cry to the Almighty, they will do their work as a regular angel. But Yorubas have privileges. This is why in Bible, God keeps saying, Yoruba are my own first child. I own you, you own me. You are my own children. I gave you everything. In the Quran too, I choose you ahead the rest of the entire world. This is where all those concepts are coming from, because the Yorubas are naturally close to heaven. They are close to God angels. They are biological seeds of the angel. They are grandchildren. The Bible dubbed the angels as God's son who came down to heaven. This angel now gave birth to Yoruba. Logically, Yorubas are the grandchildren of the Almighty, because the Bible dubbed their parent as God's son. Do you see the line? The relating line. The angels were dubbed as God's son. This God's son now gave birth to the Yoruba. Then the Yorubas are grandchildren of the Almighty. So when God is saying, these people are my own first child, God is practically saying they belong to me. He said it. I will curse anyone who curse you people, and I will bless anyone who bless you. Why will God say that? Is because they are important. So when a Yoruba man said, I don't want to do tradition, you are practically saying you want to betray your ancestor. And your ancestor, they are linked between you and the Almighty. So how can you get to the Almighty as a random president? You are like a prodigal son who have thrown away yourself. Yorubas were never meant to suffer, because everyone has a root. You have a strong connection with the Almighty like any other race in the entire world. So there is a reason why the Europeans demonize them and make the Yorubas turn their backs against those who will help them, against the true path. So that is where the whole idea comes from. I believe you've learned one or two things. I will see you in my next video, because it's a very deeper story. But I'll be treating it gradually. Please press the like button, share it. Please let me grow my channel. You can support me. You can email me. My email is down below, and I will appreciate all forms of support, especially financially or any other way, because I'm on this book project. I've been on this for a while. You know how expensive things are in those days, but I just believe I will get there one day or sooner. So I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for giving me your time. Bye for now.